Yeah, you know what time it is. Come brawl with them boys of the fall. Covered in gray and scarlet, massive, stiff arms to your jaw. We breaking it. We sick of seeing you clowns with the crown. We taking it.
What's up, Buckeye Nation? Welcome to the Buckeye Boys, where we talk college football with real fans. I'm Mello. That's Sean to the right of me, maybe to the left of you. And that's TG to the left of me and maybe to the right of you. And today we got a big time show. We're going to talk about the Buckeye Breakout stars from spring practice thus far. We're going to talk a little bit of recruiting, a little bit of UGA, and what would it be without talking a little bit about that fan base up north and laughing at them? You know what I mean? What's up, TG? What's up, Sean? How you guys doing?
What's up, guys?
I'm doing well. What up, everybody?
Okay,
I'm doing well, Mello. I'm doing well.
Yeah,
it's just that I'm not lagging, am I?
A tiny bit, nothing too serious. You know what I mean? But
Okay,
yeah, today was busy
sure.
for me. I'm not even gonna lie. I've been up since 5 a.m. Had to go to work. Had to run home, walk the dog, pick up my daughter from track, pick up her friend, drop her friend off, drop my daughter off, write a couple of emails for colleges for her, and then drive back to my house to hop on this live stream with y'all. I appreciate y'all being patient with me.
Hey, how's she liking track so far?
No problem, man.
Man, she loves it, bro. Because the difference between track and soccer, obviously, soccer's her main thing. Like that's always going to be the main thing. But the difference between soccer and track, soccer, there's politics involved. So, like, I'm not from Georgia. There's a lot of people that are, so they have connections with the coaches. Their coaches feel like they've known their kids since they were in diapers, so they go extra mile for those kids. With my daughter, which I told her, which is the way I want it, and you need to be undeniable because a lot of those kids that are getting spoken up for, they're going to get exposed when they go to college, and those college coaches do not care because they have to win to keep their job. So for her, she likes, first off, she loves to run and she's fast. She's good at it. It's natural for her. But the main thing that she likes about track is that there's no politics in it. Like, they don't have to talk to your high school coach or your track coach. Your time is your time. It's all on mile split. They don't have to be there. They can look and be like, yep, it's all laser and it's immediate. It's updated instantly. So she loves that part.
Nice.
Yep. So TG, where you want to start off with on the breakout stars? You want to start off? Let's start off on the offensive side of the ball. TG, you there?
I think she might be frozen.
I'm
here. Hey, give me a second. I'm going to hop back on a little bit later.
All right. Sean, where you want to start off on the offensive side of the ball?
Well, we're getting reports from Austin Saraville he's taking first team snaps over Ethan, the big dude from Rice. So that's
over him, or is it over Paris's cousin?
No, he was playing left tackle, so they were saying he was taking it over him. That's what I heard, left tackle. Maybe I'm wrong. But
I mean, I'm thinking about this. Ethan is what, 350 pounds right now, around that. So he's probably, I know he's a beast in pass blocking, but he's probably a road grader and run blocking. Yep. So, I mean, until he gets under 330, I would probably figure he'd be a right tackle more so. That's your running side, and that's the not the blind side. So it kind of makes sense. I still think that Paris's cousin is the odd man out, basically, is what I'm saying, as of right now. But it's still really early to tell. And you got to realize there's going to be a lot of not so much games played, but you have to, in terms of rotations, you have to keep it a certain way. So that way you don't have players just transferring out, if that makes sense.
I mean, we were all expecting Ian Moore to fight at the right tackle with Paris Johnson's cousin, Daniels. Then Ethan, I can't pronounce his last name, on the left side. He was supposed to be the pencil on starter. I kind of figured, Saraville would be the right tackle. I mean, the right guard. But right guard. Him and Seager would fight out right guard, but they've had him playing a lot of left tackle right now. And you know what? Maybe that's just to see what he could do in case of injuries during the year. I mean,
yeah, I think they're doing a lot of cross training. Ethan is definitely starting. Like, let's just keep a buck. Like, he's starting. So whether it's left tackle or right tackle, we're going to see. It depends, I think, on if they get his weight down. But as Coach Mick and Coach Day said it, that he wants his weight down. And Coach Mick, he's the GOAT. So his weight's going to come down. So I expect him to still take over left tackle. I want to see the battle for right tackle between Austin and Phillip Daniels. That's going to be very interesting. Luke is locked in at center. He's winning the Remington Award. I'm calling it now. Not Luke, but I'm sorry, Carter's going to be locked in center. He's going to win the Remington. Luke at left guard, and then you have Tegra at right guard. And then I think they're going to still rotate, man. If you watch the presser today, Dave's talking about rotating at every position. And it makes sense. They already have the proof of concept from playoffs last year. And these guys need to be ready to roll. It's a long season. What's your thoughts on rotating even though line throughout the entire season and not just like how we did it last year out of necessity?
One thing about offensive line is that's the one position where you have to have chemistry because all those guys got to be on the same page. And the only way you're going to get chemistry is playing together. So I can see, maybe one or two guys like they did last year. Like, if you're going to go like a 3-man rotation with the guards, I can see that. But trying to do like both tackles, I think that would just, that just seems tough to do, man. I think if you got Ian Moore and say Daniels at your right, them are your right tackles. If you say, hey, Ian, you're playing the first quarter, Daniels, you play the second, you play the third, you play the fourth. I could see that happening because some teams have done that before where they just switch to tack one spot out. One guy plays one quarter, the other guy plays the other. That could happen, but we'll just have to wait and see right now.
But what if they just did whole line switches like it was hockey? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like you have a first string and a second string. That way you keep the continuity, and then you still cross train them at practice, and then you could sub them in and sub them out if that makes sense.
I just don't think that you would have. I don't think we have 10 quality guys that could come in and out.
I do. I do. I think the Armstrong twins, Ian Moore, Austin Saraville, Phillip Daniels, Tegra, Carson, Luke, Padilla, and Ethan. That's 10 guys right there. I think we have 10 guys that you could do that with. Legitimate.
All right, I'm back. Did y'all fill me in?
Yeah, so we're talking about rotating the O-line because Coach Day was talking about it today in his presser that he wants to rotate at all the positions. And I was asking him, do you think can you see it? And Sean was just saying like, well, you need chemistry, so I could see them maybe doing one or two. And I said, what if they do whole line changes like hockey? And he was like, I don't think we have 10 offensive linemen that could do it. So I would name all the 10 real easy. It was real quick. Like
that part 10. I caught on to. So yeah, I think they do. It's just that again, experience matters. That's all it is. Just experience. And plus, I think it'll do well for those guys, even if we did do that. Now, do I think they're gonna rotate a heck of a lot on the offensive line? Probably not, but if there's an injury that happens, sure. But I do think they're going to rotate some just to get guys experience because we do got the guys. I think the Armstrong twins are dudes. Ian Moore's definitely a dude. Like that dude, he's a future tackle for Ohio State, just a future graded tackle. I also think Saraville, he's a lot like Donnie, where he can play left guard, left tackle. He can also play right guard. So he's a very versatile player. I think we got the guys to do it just in case.
Let me see something. I think we play Grambling the second game, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I'm looking up the schedule right now.
Yeah, we played Grambling.
Grambling the second week. You do a whole line changes in that game. Then you play Ohio University. You do a whole line changes in that game, right?
Yep.
Then we got Washington. You might not want to do whole line changes, but I honestly don't think that's going to be that close of a game. Like, I'm just be real with you. Minnesota, I don't think that's going to be that close of a game, but is that home or is that away? That's the only thing. Minnesota on the road is it's kind of tough a little bit. Nope, it's home.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
You could rotate a little bit on that game too at some point. Illinois, that's going to be a tough game. So I don't know about rotating.
Yeah, you're not rotating in that one.
No.
Wisconsin, I think that's an okay game. You could rotate in that one. Penn State, obviously, you're not rotating in that game at all. I think you're going to barely rotate any positions in that game, to be honest with you, other than D-line. and like wide receiver and running back.
Yeah, here's what I will say. At some point, we got to do like because as we talked about, we'll do like a little pre-recording talking about pretty much all our opponents that are on our schedule, like just pretty much pre-seeing them before spring ball, and then when the season starts, by the time we have them, we'll pretty much be able to like dive deeper into them by the time we get there.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I was just looking at a quick glance, and then at the end of the season, there's a team up north. Are you going to rotate in that game? Probably not.
No.
That game we need to win. We need to win that one this year, regardless of what the sanctions come out, what punishment come out. We need to win that one. And if they have that freshman starting, we need to go ahead and send them a message. And I'm hoping Sonny Styles is the one to send them that message with Arvell Reese, because he has a loud mouth. Like, he's writing checks that he's going to have to cash, and I don't believe he can. Like, first off, I don't believe in Michigan high school football. I just don't.
Nope.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
Everybody out there that lives in Michigan, I think your football's trash. I'm just be honest. High school. We already saw Tavian St. Clair cook him in the Las Vegas Elite 11. He didn't bother showing up to the finals Elite 11 because why? He would have dropped drastically. I guarantee you he would have dropped. He wouldn't be the number one player. He's getting hyped up. He's overpaid. 10, 12 million, whatever you want to call it, out of desperation. He's right in your backyard. You already said you can't develop quarterbacks, which, I mean, is he really lying?
He's not.
Right. So there's that.
I mean, these same Michigan fans try to take credit for Tom Brady, but y'all hated him for so many years. And, like, he never got developed in Michigan. It's like once he got with Bill Belichick and them, that's when he turned into the quarterback that he was. And even he says that.
I was around then when that happened, and they wanted Drew Henson. That that fan base wanted Drew Henson because he was like Bryce Underwood right now. He was the golden boy of Detroit high school football. So they wanted the hometown hero to be the starting quarterback. They hated Tom Brady. They booed him. Tom Brady didn't come back to Michigan for like 17 years. He had hard feelings towards them.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing too, because now he's pretty much back to them now after all this time. But he's just like, dude, they hated him for so many years. I'm like, y'all had a great quarterback. Like, why are you upset that the hometown guy, like us Ohio State, like, I don't think Ohio State fans were like that entirely. Like, if you get a good quarterback here at Ohio State, we're going to root for the good quarterback. You may be a hometown kid, but you better be good, because otherwise you will get booed out of the building.
But my bad, we got a little off track. So TG, who's the next breakout star you want to talk about? We're sticking to offense. We'll hop back on underwear at the end of the show, because I got other stuff to talk about.
All right, who's you guys' breakout stars?
He picked Austin Serville, which he also won.
Iron Buckeye.
Huh?
Iron Buckeye.
He was Iron Buckeye.
Right. So I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah, that is.
Who's your breakout star?
Mylan Graham.
And you can't say Optimus Prime. You can't say.
I'm not going to say that. I said Mylan
I'm just
Graham.
letting you know. I'm talking. To
I
both
know.
of y'all.
I know. Even though the one thing you can say about Jeremiah from what Brian Hartline has said is he's starting to pick up the role as a leader. That's good. So that is worth a shout out. But no, my breakout star for the team is Mylan Graham. I hear how Brian Hartline talked about him, how much he's improved, how he's really beginning to understand things, and how he could get some playing time, as well as Bryson Rogers is another one, and Brandon Ennis. All three of those
you
guys.
can only pick one at a time, bro. You can't be.
It's basically all three of those guys.
Going six.
Triple dip. No.
Well, it's basically those
Mylan Graham. Go ahead.
Zone six.
All three of them. Well, it is all three of them, but Mylan Graham, because basically him coming in for winter workouts helped him pretty much get to where he needs to be, because I know he regrets pretty much missing out the first time and realizes that, hey, having winter workouts was necessary, and it's improved him tremendously. And then in spring ball, he's shown that he's improved even greater than that. So that is actually great, and it's a chance he could get playing time again this year. I love that. I want to see this guy on the field. Hopefully, I don't care if it's kickoff returns, punt returns. I don't even care if it's little packages you throw him out there every now and again. Just get him on the field.
So let me ask you something, TG. Who's going to get the majority of the snaps? Who are the first two in the slot for you in terms of playing time between those three? What's the pecking order?
Brandon Ennis is number one.
Okay.
Clearly. number 2 was pretty hard between the both of them. But if I had to pick, I pretty much would say Bryson Rodgers just because he's ahead of Mylan right now. But
Okay.
Mylan is close right there. He's pretty much right there. Like, he keeps improving. He'll definitely find himself some playing time.
So I agree with that. So for that reason, I'm not going to pick the slot. I was going to pick Bryson Rodgers, but I mean, you said all the slot receivers basically.
Yeah, basically.
Desi Jones. So I'm going to pick something that's obvious. Julian Sayin. He's going to be the heartbeat of this team. We're going as far as he takes us. And I think he's going to take us far personally. He has a lot of weapons at his disposal. We already know he has the arm talent better than what we even had last year. And that's saying a lot because Will Howard led the country in completion percentage and QBR. So I expect us to take a full step forward there. He has tight ends out, the best tight end room. He has the best wide receiver room. I think the running back room, yes, they're young, but I think they're also elite. I think it's a top 3 room nationally. So he's surrounded by the pieces that he needs. I think we have the best O-line room in America. So I think he's set up for success, and he's going to break out. He does tend to throw like Aaron Rodgers. He's a beast. So look out for Julian Sayin. That's my breakout star.
Yeah, as long as he throws like them and don't act like them, I'm good.
I think, I was going to say Graham too, but she beat me to it. I think, him having the extra winter workout this year really is going to do wonders for him. But I'm going to go with James Peoples. I mean, I think J.K. Dobbins 2.0 is here, and I think he's ready to take off. Besides him, I know we got the transfer, Danielson. I mean, I think he's going to get a lot of carries. He's bigger back. But my dark horse is Bo Jackson. I like Bo if he can stay healthy.
Yo, what are we doing? We need rules. Hold up. You guys cannot be doubling up.
Okay, James Peoples.
Thank you.
Okay, James Peoples.
All right, TG, you get one more. We'll only pick 2. Well, TG, you already picked 3. So we only pick it 2, and she's frozen. So
and now I'm still here.
Oh, I thought you were frozen.
No,
so
I'm still here.
You picked all 3 of your
because it is true, basically, because from what Brian Hartline has said about all 3 of them is why. And Brian actually did make an interesting remark about the quarterbacks where he says they are really good. Yes, Julian, especially, yes, he's leading the pack, but they still got ways to go before we're
of course. I mean, this is their first time really running the team. It's a lot more than just arm talent and throwing the ball. You have to diagnose plays, try not to make the same, not put the ball in harm's way. You have to be a leader. That's the main thing. You have to be a voice that everyone wants to follow and believes in. And that's what Will Howard's superpower was last season, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I just figured that's kind of
I don't think JJ's running because they're saving his legs. I mean, he played deep into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I think, and you also got to realize this: Tate Ennis, their draft year is next year. So they're getting out in front of the scouts early. They're getting an early look in front of the scouts before next year. So that's what it's really about.
Yeah, and Emily actually said it pretty well, too, is that Sayin needs to show the intangibles. I think he's got it, but I think it's kind of like CJ where it's probably going to take him a little bit to get there, to show it.
It depends. What intangibles are we talking? If we're talking leadership, then yeah, he needs to be working that now. And Coach Mix is really good at putting you in a position that you have to be a leader and show it. I would like to, Emily, if you could dive into that a little bit more in terms of the intangibles that you're talking about, that would be awesome. Oh, leadership.
She literally said leadership, yeah.
Yeah, he does. He does. He's more of a quiet guy, at least last year. You never know until you're the guy. And I don't think we'll actually see his leadership qualities on full effect until he's named a starter. That's what I think happens. A lot of them don't want to cross the line because if they're not named a starter, then they put themselves out there. But if they're named a starter, they can lead from the front. So
yeah,
that's always a good decision. I want to see his arm strength. That's what I want to see improve with Julian.
Yeah, and you're right. Will Starr is true. That is all off the charts with him. His processing.
So I'm picking my second guy right now. I'm telling you right now, Jelani Thurman is my second guy, my breakout star.
Figured.
You know I was going.
I could see it coming.
Figured.
You knew I was going there. I mean,
him and Rodgers.
With his athleticism and size, which cannot be taught, You can't teach it. You can't teach 6'7", 265 pounds and running like that and being able to jump like that. You just can't. His work ethic and learning that playbook inside and out, not just his play, just his plays and what his role is on the playbook. If he learns at the role of the O-line and all the receivers and the running back and learn who he's supposed to block, you already know he's getting to work in the weight room from Coach May. Like, that's inevitable. All of them are going to work in the weight room, so he's going to get stronger. If he learns that part of the game, you're not keeping that kid off the field. And I think he's going to shock a lot of people. People are going to find out. They're going to be like, yo, I know a lot of people out there like, Melo's crazy. He's out here going on a limb. Obviously, you guys don't. And you know that I know some of his family. But, like, you're going to see Odell Thurman and his mom, genetically, his mom's in the Hall of Fame in the WNBA. Like, genetically, he just has it. You can't teach genetics. That's just either you have it or you're not. And there's certain stuff that you're born with. Now, the mentality and the work ethic, that's something that comes with maturity. And when you're down in a state like Georgia, which is a top 3 state in the country in terms of football, high school on the youth level, and you're dominating the level of competition he was dominating in the manner that he was dominating, you could go to Ohio State and kind of be immature and not used to having to work as super hard because you're not used to being surrounded by that much quality talent. Ohio State gets the best of the best no matter where they're from. We had a kid that was from Germany on the team. Does he come back? He might. But at the end of the day, I think his mentality has switched. And I think he's going to be a problem for everybody. So now that we picked our 2, I want to switch over to defensive side of the ball. Or did you guys want to do 3 because TG did 3?
I didn't pick my second one. Oh, yeah, I did.
You picked James Peoples.
That's right.
What, you wanted to pick one more? Go ahead. You could pick one more.
No, I forgot. I picked. I went with Sarveld first. You're right. So
do you want to pick a third one or are you good?
I'm good.
All right, so let's go over to the defensive side of the ball. TG will let you only pick one at a time, both of you guys. Stop cheating.
CJ Hicks. Because from what I hear, he's actually really embracing his role. From what Matt Patricia said in the interview that he did, Jelani Thurman is not Jelani Thurman.
CJ Hicks.
CJ Hicks, I swear, because these two are so similar in a sense. But CJ Hicks, he's learning like crazy. Like, he's really putting in the work to become better as an edge rusher. He's putting in the work to not only be a great pass rusher, but even to help stop the run as well. He's putting in the work. So from what I understand, I think it's going to be CJ Hicks.
What about the people saying CJ hasn't done it? Get out of here. He's not going to ever do it. He's trash. He's a bust. He was overrated coming out of high school. How do you address those people? What are your thoughts about the people doubting CJ Hicks?
All I'm gonna say is, think about it. How you should look at CJ Hicks is exactly the same thing everybody's been saying about Baron Browning, Jerome Baker, and Jonathan Cooper. It's no different than those guys. Because was he playing edge or was he playing linebacker?
That's a very good point.
Because remember, those guys were playing linebacker, like traditional linebacker. And if you look how they're getting used in the NFL now, they're not getting used like that. They're literally getting used the way you see guys like Micah Parsons, who had the linebacker title, but is playing up the edge. Same with, I forget the name of the linebacker that was in the same class as CJ Hicks that went to LSU, but that's how he's being used. Or you can even look at a guy like Will Anderson. Yeah, Harold Perkins. Thank you. And also you can even look at Will Anderson Jr., who's on the Houston Texans with CJ Stroud. That dude had a linebacker coming into his name. Guess what? He's playing edge. He was playing off the edge.
So let me ask you this. So what I'm hearing is it takes a little nuance. It's just easy to be like, yo, CJ Hicks is a bust. He's a bum. That takes no talent whatsoever to say that.
Right.
But it takes a little nuance to go ahead and see the potential that this young man has, right? And then you have to combine that with the fact that Matt Patricia is now our DC. Where did Matt Patricia come from? The NFL, right? And the NFL is the one that are using these guys properly, right? Am I not right? Or
exactly. Right now? No, you're right. That's exactly.
Okay,
and Matt Patricia.
I'm just wondering why people are coming up with these crazy takes that I've been hearing lately. It's like they just come out and turn on the camera and just say some wild, outlandish, blasphemous stuff. And I'm not saying that like you might not be right because you haven't seen it and you want to see it first. But you have to have that forethought, because before last year, nobody outside of the fan base really, and some people in the fan base didn't even believe this, that Ryan Day could win a natty. Last year, we were all on board. All of us right here were on board. If you were watching us, saying we're winning a natty this year. We had the most talented team by far. We had the deepest team. We had the best coaching staff with NFL experience. This last season was an NFL season pretty much on a college level. So all signs pointed to the fact that we're going to win a natty.
Yes.
So for people to go ahead and say CJ Hicks is a bust and he's done and he's trash, I just think it's a lazy take personally.
It's always
a lazy take, and there's no nuance in the thought process.
Yeah, it's an easy way to say it, especially because Matt Patricia, he literally just talked about in the interview that CJ Hicks is just like all the other linebackers / edge rushing hybrids that he's coached before. And if you watch CJ Hicks last year, the times that they used him in a blitz is where he was at his best, because he could just go at the quarterback, or he can even go after the running back as well. Like, that's when he was at his best. So you could see that last year when they used him properly and in certain spots, that's when he showed at his best. So to me, I'm not going to look at what he did at linebacker. I'm going to say, yeah, you got to show me on the field. But from what he's shown me when he's used in the right situation, he's an excellent player who can use his strengths to his benefits and can deliberately help his team. I think Kirk Barton in one place showed how they use CJ Hicks in a blitz and how he was able to get to the quarterback and put pressure on him to throw an incomplete pass. So I think that if Matt Patricia can use him the way he knows how to use all the other players he's had before him, he absolutely could turn out to be a superstar. And that's why I think he's going to be a breakout player, because they love what
Sean,
he's doing.
Let me ask you this real quick. In terms of CJ Hicks, right? Is it fair to say that, yes, it's fair to say like he's not a linebacker, right? But do you think Matt Patricia is going to find good usage for him?
See, this is where I think benefits CJ Hicks having Matt Patricia come in, because Matt Patricia is used to having these defensive concepts where they take those tweeners and play them a lot. You know what I mean? He fits more into a Matt Patricia defense, not so much into what they were trying to make him do last year. Because one thing that hurt CJ is he came from a small school. So he played lower competition, and he was the biggest, baddest kid on the team. He was used to dominating. All he had to do was go get ball and tackle ball, attack. He wasn't reading keys. Now they bring him in here to try to play linebacker. He was having trouble reading keys. He's not a linebacker. He's one of those tweeners where you got to use him as a specialty player, a rush edge, like Matt Patricia's going to do, and get the best out of him.
So, okay, let's move on a little bit. So, Sean, who's your breakout star in defense?
Jalen McClain.
And why?
I think he's ready to go. Last year, they had to tell him to calm down in practice because he's just going 100 miles an hour. He's the kid like Lathan Ransom 2.0, man. The kid wants to take people's heads off. He'll dislodge the ball. And you put him back there with Caleb to help mentor him. The kid is going to have a breakout year.
Who's your so I'm gonna go. What's your thoughts on Jalen McClain, TG?
I think he's a great player. I think he's a future star as safety for the Buckeyes. I really do.
So do you have Jalen McClain starting, or do you have Malik Hartford?
Malik Hartford, actually, because he was my second breakout player, actually.
Okay. So go ahead and talk about why, since we're right there anyway. I'll give my first. After we talk about Malik Hartford, why are you picking Malik Hartford to start, and why is he your breakout player?
From what Matt Patricia said about him, he's really everything he wanted in a safety. It's not saying Jalen McClain's not, but he's rangy. He knows how to read it. He knows how to read an offense. His movements, how he can pretty much break up passes. You know how we would ask Caleb Downs kind of like break up passes down in the crossroads, or even like be able to read keys. He can also play down the field, backing up as a safety. He can do a lot. So from what I understand from what Matt Patricia said, that guy literally could be the next breakout safety at Ohio State and could be the next great safety at Ohio State next to Jalen McClain as well. So I think that we got some depth at safety with those two, and we can rotate a lot.
I
Can I ask
agree
you guys a question?
in terms of what you're saying, but I kind of got a little different. Hold up. Let's take this off for a second. Like, I got a little different view, TG. So, like, when I heard Matt Patricia, he did say all that, but what I heard, what I took away is the thing where he said he has to work on reading the offense a little bit better. Now, from what I heard from Will Howard at the combine and other players, Will Howard was saying like Jalen McClain was running from one hash mark to the other side of the field and picking him off last year. I think Jalen McClain is starting personally. Now, do I think they're going to rotate? Absolutely. And he also said that Malik Hartford could play down in the box as well, which is kind of like the nickel position. So I think they're going to rotate. I do think Jalen McClain is going to get more snaps personally because Caleb Downs could do all the same thing that Malik Hartford can do, but Jalen McClain is more of a ball hawk than both of them. So that's where I think there's going to be a little bit of the difference in terms of that.
You know what? Now that I think about it, now that you said it, Sean, I think they could have. Now that I think about it with Malik, it's possible they can have Jalen McClain starting because he's more of the length and ransom, whereas like Malik is kind of like is more like Caleb Downs from a skill set perspective. So I could see that for sure.
Now, how about going with 3 safeties though? There could be a look where they go with 3 safeties.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
I mean, yeah.
Well, technically, we supposed to play 3 safeties technically.
But I consider the nickel a hybrid of like safety, linebacker, and corner.
Yeah, you gotta be able to do both, all of them basically.
Yeah.
My breakout star. Everybody knows who I'm about to say, right? Who you think I'm gonna say?
Sanchez.
Yep. Devin Sanchez. Period. Devin Sanchez is starting. I'm telling you right now, he's starting. He's the real deal. He's the prototype. Corner, 6'2", long arms, 196 pounds, might be up to 205 by the time the season starts. Super fast, smooth, fluid hips. Pad level never changes, even when he's changing directions. And he's a ball hawk. He's very physical. If you go watch his high school film, they rarely threw to his side. Why? Because he's a lockdown corner. He's Darrell Revis. He's Revis Island. He's Deion Sanders in his prime. Maybe not as quick backpedaling as Deion. Obviously, nobody was. But you get the point. And I watched him literally 3 different games. I watched him block. He wasn't really blocking, but he jammed wide receivers out of bounds and one into the freaking Gatorade table. I thought they were going to throw a flag for unnecessary roughness. Like, seriously, that's how physical this kid is. And you're talking about one of the highest levels of football that he did it on in the entire country. So this is no shade to anybody else, but every once in a while, you get that generational talent like JJ, aka Optimus Prime. I might have to come up with a nickname for Devin Sanchez. You every once in a while you get that generational player that it doesn't matter who's coming back. Somebody's either moving their position or they're moving to the bench. It doesn't matter. And that's what I believe we have in Devin Sanchez.
I mean, people say he's the Jeremiah Smith of the defensive backs. That's what everybody says.
Right.
Yeah, and I agree. I actually had talked with Eric and them on the OHIO podcast. If y'all want to go on their podcast and check out me when I was the special guest on there. But we talked about Devin Sanchez. They really, honestly, they wanted to kind of say it, but they also didn't want to put that on him because you don't want to put that all on one kid because like Jeremiah Smith he's Jeremiah Smith. Let's be honest. But you could see it, you could buy into it for sure. It's like I definitely did. I want him to show me on the field, but I definitely do believe he is that because he's that type of dude. I do. I believe he is, but I want him to show me on the field so that way I can.
You know what's funny, TP, that you say that? I remember this time, what was it, last year? And I told me and Sean were having this conversation, and I was like, JJ is starting from day one. He was like, no, he's not starting. They're gonna start the seniors, right? You remember that conversation we had? They're going to start the seniors.
Hey, I admit I was wrong. I thought he was going to pull the seniority card. I thought JJ would start in the year, but I thought first, couple of games that they would start the seniors for, we've seen a lot where they play the seniority. But Mello was right, man. He goes, there ain't no way he's sitting. I mean, Mello was the first one to call it out of anybody.
Yeah.
That I know.
And I'm telling you, I'm calling the same thing. I'm calling my shot with Devin Sanchez right now.
I can see that. Yeah, because and I see it too. I see it. I see they were not going to keep him off the field from everything I hear about him. So it's like I could see them in a sense maybe moving David Van Nosen to
That's what I would do.
Yeah,
Slot.
moving him on to nickel and like letting Devin play on the outside. I think that's reasonable. Not to mention you could do a lot with that too.
If he's playing on the outside, you got one side locked down with Devin. You got the other side locked down with Jermaine. And then Davidson is super physical. He has fluid, quick hips as well. And he likes to come in and tackle. And he might be the best tackle out of all three of them in terms of tackling and hitting people and stopping the run. So it actually works perfectly, in my opinion. Then you have Jalen McClain and Caleb Downs over the top to help. And you have Sonny and Arvell in the middle of the field as linebackers, right? Like, that's a nightmare for an opposing offense to go against.
Yeah, and you know what's funny too with David Van Nosen is that I know a lot of people don't think he would do that just because he's trying to become a first-round corner, but I think Jordan Hancock could go to the second round, and I think a slot, a nickel might become more valuable in the NFL because of how much better receivers, the number 3 receivers, are starting to get in the NFL. So you're going to need that for sure.
I mean, and you're going to need more corners to play in the NFL because they're going with the more spread out offenses. It's not, not the one, it's not 2 receivers, a tight end, and fullback and a tailback anymore.
Yep.
It's a lot of 3 receiver sets.
I mean, you can always go back to that depending on how good those players are. Because I think with Ohio State, you can do that for sure with the talent that we have, with the tight ends, with the running backs, the wide receivers, and all on offense. I think we could absolutely do, if you have that kind of talent, you could do a multiple to the things with your defense. So you better have with the offense. So you better have a freaking defense that's multiple. Because if you don't, you finna be living in heck, man.
You guys, I heard something very, very funny. I was watching another podcast, and it was an up north podcast, and this guy made me laugh because he said Texas is going to come in and just shred our secondary next year. Our secondary and I'm like, do you realize that our secondary is the strength of our defense? We are 6 deep at cornerback.
Probably more than that.
I mean, there's 6 guys in that room to start for anybody. Honestly.
I mean, you can even think about it. I actually think it's 7 because you got. We already know the main 3, obviously.
Name them. I want to hit. Let's talk through this. Name the 6.
Obviously,
Matthews,
David Van Nosen, not Denzel. What's his name? Devin Sanchez.
Yep.
We got Aaron West Jr.
Aaron
Scott. My bad. I'm getting there.
Bryce West.
Yep, Bryce West. We have
Miles Lockhart.
Yep. And we also have, Sonny's little brother, Lorenzo.
Or 7.
Yep. And that's actually pretty amazing. And here's the funny thing too, because you guys know we got that freshman Cody Had. That guy we took from Wisconsin.
Haddad. He's a safety though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with how hard he hits, because I watch his film, I'm like, I could see them putting him in.
You're right.
Just for that. So this means you would pretty much have.
Listen, the robe is so deep. I forgot all about Cody Haddad, and I apologize to Cody straight up.
It's that linebacker, dude. He's that good of a tackler. He's that good of a tackler. He could play linebacker. Honestly.
It didn't. Isn't Cody Haddad have that genetic gift as well? Like his grandfather played in the NFL, his dad played in the NFL.
Dad did too.
Then his uncle.
Yeah,
played
so
in
we literally could have 8 legit corners just because he would be the nickel, and that dude hits like a nickel. I said it before. I want that in the nickel. When Ohio State got him, I'm like, you found a diamond in the rough, brother.
If you ever want to watch somebody do a form tackle perfectly, go watch Cody Haddad's film, man, because the dude is a tackling machine. I mean, perfect form. I mean, he just puts the thud on people. The only reason he was only a 3-star is because he had injuries and they only had film on him for 4 games. So his stock would rise big time.
And by the way, how tall is Sonny? Because I thought he was 6'5".
6'5", 6'6". They don't list him as that, but that's what he is.
Yeah.
What was I about to say? Oh, well, I know why people are sleeping on Devin Sanchez. We're going to move on after this comment. People are sleeping on Devin Sanchez because they have him in the 2 deep. He's not on the starting line right now. It's spring ball. You don't want to bring Devin in and start him right away because you're going to scare people into the portal. Straight up, it's just not a smart move.
No, you make
And
people earn
you
it.
need people to know that they're going to rotate. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And Devin is already grounded well enough to the point where if he's not starting, it's not going to make him hit the portal. We already know that, right? But
They
he's
did
still
that
going to
with
come in.
Fields.
He's going to push somebody. And at the end of the day, you're going to play your best 11 on both sides of the ball for the most part because you're trying to win.
Day just doesn't hand starting jobs over to people. He makes them go out there and earn it. I mean, he's not gonna guarantee anybody any starting jobs. He didn't do that with Justin Fields. We all knew Justin Fields was gonna be a starting quarterback. He didn't name him a starter. He made him go out there and prove it to everybody, which he's
same with CJ Stroud.
He had chug enough to go against, but I mean that wasn't too hard for him. But
who we on now? Whose turn is it to pick?
Sean? Mine. My second guy. I'm going Edric Houston.
Yeah. That's such an obvious one.
Well, he got moved to a different position last year. Let's not forget, he got moved to a different position.
And played
finally got, he got
Stay away from my Georgia players, bro. You guys are not allowed to pick the Georgia players.
Hey, I'm a defensive end, bro. I love defensive ends. And he got moved to the defense. He got bumped inside. And he didn't, he never played it before. So now he's going to have a year under his belt there. I expect him to take a giant jump, man.
And what's funny with Edric Houston, what's funny with Edric Houston is when he did play D tackle, he actually did play like a freak at D tackle because that would do just stuffing people.
But he is a freak, and you got to. This is what you guys got to realize. So Buford played a 3-4 when he was in high school, so that's kind of like even though he's playing on the end, it's still like a D tackle type of position.
Exactly.
He has 7-foot long arms, not wingspan. Long arms.
Like legit.
So it's very hard for interior O linemen who are typically shorter than tackles to lock out on him. He could create that space and that separation and lock out on them actually and control them. And he's extremely quick and extremely strong. So like it's actually pretty good for him to be on the inside and pretty good for us.
Yeah,
so that's all I wanted to put in there. A little nuance to it.
That's a great point, Mello, because most people don't realize that in the 3-4, the outside linebackers are basically your real defensive ends, and the defensive ends in a 3-4 are your defensive tackles. So, I mean, it makes sense. If he came from a 3-4 in high school, he's going to be used to playing that. So, I think he takes a giant step. All-American.
Who's your second player?
Oh, I said Malik Hartford.
Who did you say first?
I said CJ Hicks.
Okay, so I have to pick a second player. I could go one of two ways, man.
I think I know where you're going.
Where am I going?
I think you're going two freshmen here. I think you're going with the Pops Pod duel.
No.
Pettijohn and Sanchez. No,
that's not what I was deciding between.
I almost
TG, you want to take a guess?
Honestly, I would have thought of Pettijohn too, because from what I hear of him, he's been doing weird.
No, I think Pettijohn's gonna be a monster. I think he's a future Buckeye Grove type of guy. I think he's a future first round straight up. Where I was gonna go, actually, Pettijohn, if you go look at his film, it kind of reminds me of Tyler Atkinson, and that's why I'm like, if those two together with TJ Alford and Eli Lee, oh my goodness, ridiculous. But no, I'm trying to decide between a Georgia guy and a Miami guy. I think I'm going to lean towards the Miami guy to go with the breakout. I'm going to leave the Georgia guy for Devin because it's his favorite player.
Oh, I know who you're talking about now.
So I'm going with KJ, Kenyatta Jackson Jr. The reason I say that, I think he's going to be a double-digit sack guy. I know people are like, well, I don't know. I think that Sawyer and 44 could get to the quarterback better. I don't at all. I think they're better at stopping the run. But like, if you go look at Tyleik Williams' story on IG from today, go look at it. And hey, TG, you got to chill. You throwing me off a little bit.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. If you go look at Tyleik Williams' story today, they went to the basketball game and they're walking, and he goes to KJ, starting defensive end for Ohio State, 6'6", 265 pounds. You think he gets up to 275 and not lose a step? I think he can.
I think he can too.
And then I think that's going to help with his run stopping ability. In terms of pass rushing, he's elite. He's going to have double-digit sacks by himself. And that's what I'm predicting for him. And I think he's going to be a breakout. I think he's going to be first team Big Ten. And I think people are going to be very surprised and shocked.
You know what, though? If you look at the end of the year, though, he played so much better against the run last year at the end of the year. At the first of the year, he kind of struggled with it. But towards the end of the year, man, I mean, even in those playoff games, he was making tackles on runs on the inside. I mean, they couldn't run the ball at him. Usually people try to run at him because he was a little thinner than Jack or JT, but they couldn't do that anymore. So I was impressed with him. I think you picked a good one there, bro.
Yeah.
TG, I need your thoughts on KJ.
Oh, of course. I think KJ is going to be a freaking star, honestly. I've always believed that from the time he got here. It was just going to take him a little bit to come around, obviously, because first you're playing behind JT and Jack, so it made sense that it was going to take him a bit before he could show. But also, he needed to show he could stop the run. I knew he'd be a great pass rusher, but he needed to bulk up and do a little bit more to stop the run. I knew he could. I believe he's going to have a breakout year this year. Him and Caden Curry.
Yeah. And hold on. This ties into CJ Hicks. I think I wanted to ask you this earlier when you brought him up. Who does he take snaps away from? Because he's going to take some snaps from somebody. Who is he taking them from?
I would actually think it might be Caden Curry. Between him and Kenyatta, I would think it's Caden Curry.
I got one. I'll tell you who he takes it from. He takes it away from K-Mac because I see them bringing him in and bumping KJ or Caden down to a tackle.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Then. You know, like a Rushman package.
Yeah, actually,
I think it could be. I think that's solid. Both of you, what you said are viable options. I think he's going to take it away from Marvell.
It could too. Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you put him blitz.
Or from a nickel.
True.
There's so many different ways Matt Patricia can use CJ Hicks and so many different schemes he could run, especially with this team. Like Kirk Barton said on Buckeye Scoop, this team is like an elite roster. Is not even like it is in the NFL. It's like 99% of the games you play in, you're going to have the best roster on from top to bottom against the team that you're playing. So in terms of Matt Patricia being a mad scientist, legit, I know they threw that on Jim Knowles, but Matt Patricia is the real mad scientist. I think he's going to come up with some crazy stuff we haven't seen yet.
What really excites me, guys?
That's because for the first time he actually has legit talent to work with. Because with the Patriots, remember, they had to get rid of guys every single time, and they couldn't pick high in the draft to get talented guys. So I think he's going to be, for the first time in his career, he's going to have real talent, and he's going to have a talent advantage, something he never had in the NFL. So
what makes me excited is on both sides of the ball, we have so much talent, but we have so much different skill sets at different positions that we can do so much. We can run so many different varieties of schemes on offense and defense. I mean, just look at all the running backs we have, all the different. I mean, we got a bruising back, we got a scat back like Turbo Rogers, we got Bo Jackson who can do both. We got, I mean, our receivers, we got the speedster with Mylan Graham, then we got Optimus Prime, the greatest, you know. Then you got
he's going to be the GOAT at wide receiver. He stays healthy.
The GOAT.
Like, let's just call a spade a spade.
Yeah. He'll be the GOAT. Then you got Brandon Rodgers, the best route runner, like you would say, in college football. So, I mean, they have I'm going to
keep it real. It's Brandon Rodgers and B.I. I think it's a tie between both of them. I think they're both the two best route runners in America, like legit.
I think Desi Jones is not that far from him either.
Nope. But I think Desi Jones, you won't see him until maybe next year. You know what I mean? Because I think what's going to happen is Bryson Rodgers and B.I. are going to have good enough seasons that they could leave. And I think they will leave. And then I think that opens it up for Mylan and Desi to split next year. And then you also still got Phillip Bell and you got Chris Henry Jr. coming in. And I think Carnell Tate's gone. And I still think we don't really miss a beat, to be honest with you. We're just going to be a lot younger.
And you got to realize we got Porter too. Quincy, we got Quincy in there as the bully ball guy. I mean, you got the
he's someone else that
talk about this earlier, but I want to pose this to you. Let's all pick a breakout coach.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go first because I don't want y'all stealing mine like you've been stealing mine. I'm going Matt Patricia. The reason I'm going Matt Patricia is something that was asked today. Was it by Byrne? It might have been by Byrne. And they were asking him about his experience of winning the Super Bowl, coming back and trying to duplicate that again over and over again, because the Patriots obviously set the standard before Kansas City. So what he said is he made the players very hungry. He told them, like, hey, they have 6 months advance on us, and especially here, that every team you're playing is watching every single game from last season, so they have a 6-month advantage, and we have to keep them hungry and wanting to fight and wanting to play, and we got to play catch up like we're behind. So I think people forget that in terms of Matt P is used to a team coming off a Super Bowl or winning a natty and then having to go back and repeat and keep the standard to standard. So I think that's very underrated gift that he has. And I think with this defensive talent and the advantage we're going to have over teams is going to be so obvious. And people like the team up north wants to laugh about us hiring Matty P. It's going to be the worst nightmare. Just like they laughed, oh, you hired Chip Kelly, them in Oregon. Okay. And what happened? He was the best OC in college football last year. So that's my breakout star. Who you got, Sean? And then we'll go to TG.
One question I want to throw at you quick, Mello.
Go ahead.
Are you worried about Matt Patricia not having coached in the college game for so long that he might have to try it, that he might not connect with these younger guys? Like he might have to dumb things down? Like
Absolutely not. Because, I mean, you see him connecting in all the videos, going and talking to him. This is the thing. Not only do we get the most elite players in the country, forget the recruiting rankings, right? Let's be real, because if we go by the recruiting rankings, UGA should have won the Natty last year, or at least played it. They got bounced by Notre Dame. They stacked three number 1 classes on top of like 2 top 3 classes.
Yeah,
and back to back years, and they got bounced by Notre Dame. So you could throw those recruiting rankings completely out the window. It's about your players. The scheme, are you a good enough coach that if your players don't match your scheme, you could change your scheme to match the players? That's why we have the best coaches at Ohio State, because they can do both. And then having cultural fits, guys that work hard, stay out of trouble. They're always in the film room. They're always in the weight room. They're always in the woody, just working. And that's what we have here. So I say all that to say this. We have some of the most intelligent football players in college football on Ohio State Buckeyes. So will he dumb it down a little bit for them? Yes, but does he have to? Not as much as you really think he does, because these guys are very intelligent. They're still running the same base scheme. He's just adding wrinkles to it and enhancing it. And he's going to tailor it by game and by teams and rosters that we play with our players and our rosters and our scheme. So, no, I don't think he's going to have a problem at all. I think people that are like, oh, he did bad as a head coach at Detroit, they're just reaching because they're trying to cope. I mean, Nick Saban was terrible in the NFL. Urban Meyer was terrible in the NFL. And those are the 2 best college coaches of all time, period. So, no, Matty P is going to have no problems, no issues with this team. The only people that are going to have issues are opposing OCs and offenses that face us.
Another question for you two. Are we hiring Matt Patricia to be a head coach?
No.
Just
head
coach of the defense.
Head coach of the defense, that's it, but no.
I think we hired him to be the defensive coordinator where he won Super Bowls. Am I right?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, we're not hiring him to lead the team. I mean, run to be the,
even though he did say he learned from that. He did say he learned because he was trying to be. I'm just telling you this, that he knows he can't be like Bill Belichick, because he came from, because remember, he comes from a place where they were all about winning Super Bowls, and he forgot he was not with that with the Lions.
If you look at every coach that followed Bill Belichick, all his disciples tried to be like him and copy him, and they all failed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and real quick, because as off topic as this is, Will Stein wants to ask the question, do you think Franklin finally gets fired?
Hold on. This is a very important question. I think Franklin keeps his job if they win the Natty or they win the Big Ten. So, with that being said, do you feel Franklin's going to win the Natty or win the Big Ten?
He
I
could win
think
the
that's
Big
the real
Ten.
question.
He could win the Big Ten, but I don't think he'll win the Natty. I think he's gonna fall short every time because
Listen,
he's done it before, won the Big Ten, but
Once,
once. 2016, if I remember, it was the year they beat us.
yeah, I don't want to talk about that. Sean, does he
I
win
think-
the Big Ten or a Natty?
I don't think he wins the Natty, but I think he makes the playoffs, and that's going to be good enough for them guys.
You
Because
think
who
so?
else are you going to get? Who are you guys going to get? I mean,
It's
honestly,
Penn State. They could go get Matt Rule from Nebraska.
Especially
they
because he's
tried-
from there.
I mean, there's other guys
It's
that they've
Penn
tried to get
State,
before
man.
that. I mean, be careful what you wish for, because it could,
True.
it could go the other way, and they could go back to winning.
You know
3
what
or
else
4
they could get?
games.
Who else they could get? Jim
Who else?
Knowles. They could promote him to head coach.
Yeah, probably.
Go ahead, take them. Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't
yeah.
like recruiting, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, you could promote him to head coach.
It's true.
I do
Good.
think I'm gonna say this. I do think Penn State could get an upgrade at Franklin. The question is, when is the right time to fire him? When do you find that upgrade? Because I think they can. While he is a good coach, he cannot win the big games. At some point, Penn State finna get sick of this. Because on the OHIL podcast, we talked about if we stop respecting Michigan as a rival, which is something I feel like we should,
Yeah.
who would we take as our next rival? I said Oregon for the very reason. Now, they even asked this question: is Penn State worthy enough to be considered? Here's what I said. They can be if they get rid of Franklin, because they have the talent like we do. We
used to
always
be.
have close games with them. It'd be a fun, close game with Penn State every time. It's literally even match, except for the fact they don't got good wide receivers, but they have it every now and again.
I'll tell you what, when they took their downfall, though, is when they lost, because they used to have a stronghold on recruiting Maryland and Jersey, and they don't have that anymore.
Yeah, because they lost Tyler
Pennsylvania.
Bourne.
I
Because they
mean-
lost Tyler Bourne.
I mean, before that, though, they used to have that down when Joe Pa was there. That was on lockdown. All those guys went to Penn State year after year. And they don't
Yeah.
have that anymore.
And that's what I'm talking about is, and like I said, Mika, yes, they don't have any wide receivers. They used to have really good wide receivers, NFL receivers, like Parker Washington, I think his name was, like back in 2022. I know even beforehand.
CJ Hamlin was good.
Yeah, Chris Godwin, all those guys. So, but they can be if they were to get rid of Franklin.
Yo,
Because
hi,
until they get rid of
gotcha.
until they get rid of Franklin, man, I can't take them seriously as a rival. I just can't. I can't.
I'm going to tell you like this. They're not winning the Natty this year. I don't think they had the wide receiver talent. And people are like, whoa, they're going to hit the portal. Okay, who's going to be in the portal? What quality starting wide receiver is going to be in the portal? I don't see them winning the Natty. I don't see them. I mean, they could win the big, but probably not. I say it's 50-50. And all those guys came back, tried to pull what Team Up North did without the cheating, what we did last year without the cheating. Do I think they are capable to pull it off? No, I don't. I don't believe in Drew Aller. Straight up, I don't care that he's an Ohio kid. I watched him throw the game away against Notre Dame. That wasn't even a James Franklin mess up. That was Drew Aller. He threw a horrible ball. He said he was throwing it away. How was that throwing it away? You threw it straight to the defender, chest height. He didn't have to do anything, just put his hands up and catch it. So I don't believe in Drew Aller. I don't think you could have such a prolific run game like it was the 90s that you could just run the ball 50, 60 times and win all the games all the way up to a Natty. I just don't see it. And then you have no one that can separate off of DBs at all. You lost Tyler Warren. So who's playing that position? You lost Abdul Carter. And granted, I still think they're going to have a great defense because that's what Penn State does.
Yeah.
But that's only one portion. Unless they're having turnovers every game, they're going to struggle, man. I'm telling you. And then you got to realize that defense, the talent's not the same as Ohio State, even when we had Kerry Combs. So, the defense is going to take a step back because every defense that Jim Knowles comes into, they always take a step back that first year, and then they progress the second and third year tremendously. They're not going to do that. And then this is a senior-laden class. So after they don't win the Natty, I think this is the year James Franklin gets fired. They're like, let's just blow it up and start over because that whole class is gone. We're going to be a young team. Right now is the time. And I think that's when they're going to reach out to Matt Rule. Personally, that's what I think. So with that said, did everybody pick a coach? That's what we are. So TJ,
Yeah, we're on
pick
the
your
coach. If
Your
I had to
breakout
say
coach.
a breakout coach, I'm gonna say Billy Fessler because from what I hear about him, he's a brilliant mind, and not to mention from what we've seen of him,
Mm-hmm.
he's excellent. He's pretty much from what Ryan Day said, he's excellent at coaching. I mean, he was an offensive coordinator at one point. He went with Chip Kelly, and then he came to Ohio State. So I think he'll be the next one, especially because I think his ability to develop quarterbacks will be put on display, in my opinion. Yes, Ryan Day will still have his hand in it, but at the same time, Billy can do it too. So especially because if Ryan Day hires you if Ryan Day hires you to do that, that means he trusts you at this point because he's trusting you to do this.
Absolutely. And I love that point that you just brought up with Billy Fessler. I wouldn't have thought about him, but you brought it out, and that's like a big little joker you just slap on the spades table. Nobody saw it coming. You hid your hand very well, and I agree with that. I think Julian, he's going to be the key to Julian Saint's success, and which is the key to our team's success. So that's low-key a great pick, a great choice. Sean, what about you?
I am going to go with James Laurinaitis. Because I think Arvell and Sonny both take another step in their progression and I think Sonny becomes an All-American this year. And I think Arvell's right behind him. Then I can also see Peyton Pierce making progress too and being, getting some playing time. And I can see a couple of those young freshmen on Riley Pettijohn.
Yeah.
I could even see Alford maybe getting some licks in there too. Yeah. So, I mean, I think this is the year the linebackers take another jump.
So let me ask you, I want to stay right there in that room. Outside of UGA, I think UGA might have the best linebacker room as of right now.
Okay.
But by mid-season to end season, do you think we have the best linebacker room in the country? I don't know if you guys tracking UGA's roster or not, but I am. Do you guys think? I just want your opinion. Do you guys think we end up having the best linebacker room in the country?
I think it all depends on health, honestly.
Yeah, there's
if we stay healthy and they stay healthy, I think we'll have the better, linebacker room. I think so.
Yeah, I do too. I believe we have a chance to be the best linebacker room in the country if everybody stay healthy and if these guys continue to play well. I think we definitely will.
So for me, I absolutely think we're going to have the best linebacker room because we're going to do something that UGA won't do. I mean, they do it a little bit, but they won't do it as much as we will, I believe. We're going to rotate. So all those young guys, Riley and TJ, and Eli, and Peyton Pierce, who was an animal in high school, people don't realize, in Texas, by the way, Arvell, they're all going to rotate. All the young guys are going to get experience. They're going to ball out, right? Then I think Sonny's going to win the butt kiss, personally. That's my personal opinion. Sonny locks down tight ends and gets better at covering out of the running backs and tight ends. I think Sonny's winning the butt kiss. And we already know what Arvell is. He's just an animal.
Yeah.
He's a manimal. He's not really that. He's not human. He's half human, half animal. So I think by the end of this season, with all the experience the young guys are going to get, because we're going to blow out a lot of teams, let's just be quite frank. I think we do end up having the best linebacker room. So now you take it. This is a prediction, and people just take it with a grain of salt. You could form your own opinion. Go study UGA's rosters, study all these other rosters. You'll be surprised when you see that Ohio State still has the best roster in America. I think we're going to have the best linebacker room by the end of the season. We're going to have the best offensive line room from the beginning to the end of the season. I think we're going to have a top 3 quarterback in Julian Saint. We already have the best wide receiver room. We already have the best tight end room, and that's not going to change. I think we're going to have top 3 running back room. We have the best DB room. Let's go corner. We have the best corner room. I think we have the best safety room. I think we're going back to back. That's what I'm calling right now. I think we're going to go back to back as long as health is good and we rotate and create depth on the D line. The key is that D line.
Yes.
You also need a little luck in there every now and then for something.
Of course, that's the health part.
Yep.
The luck is the health part.
Exactly.
That's the only thing that I consider the luck, because if you take it man to man, coach to coach, we're better than every team out there. So when you talk about the luck and fortunate, that's just staying healthy and having that depth on the D line, especially that DM room.
Yeah.
You know, I've been telling these people, they're saying, well, our defense isn't going to be as great as last year. I said, our defense, I think, is going to be just as good. It's just going to be different. They're going to do it a different way, a different scheme, a different look. I mean, we'll have those ends that pass rush. I mean, we're going to get a lot of pass rush and a lot of sacks from our edges that we haven't had in a long time since the Bose has been here. And
Hold on, so you say no more cage rushing? Is
no
that
more
what
cage
he's saying?
No more cage rushing.
I tell you what, I think James Laurinaitis too will have the handcuffs taken off him since Knowles isn't here, because the year before last he wanted to play Cody Simon over Steel Chambers and Tommy Eichelberg, and he wasn't allowed to because of Jim Knowles.
But hold up, shout out to my boy Still. I seen him in the gym last December time frame. And I see his trainer up there all the time. His trainer is swole, man. That dude is huge. I wanted to ask him what kind of stack he's on, because I like, you got to be on something, bro. Like, you can't be, you're not supposed to be that big naturally as a human.
Yeah, and real quick, Robert, just to tell you, I think he's already doing that. I think he's already doing that. He's talking about how quick
Read the question out loud for those that don't have YouTube to see.
Yeah, for those of you who don't have who can't see it, I'm gonna show you now. How quickly has LJ turned the linebacking room around? That was a glaring weakness 3 years ago. I think he's already done it.
Yeah, he turned around last year.
Yeah, from what we saw with Cody Simon in them, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Cody was playing good the year before. He just wasn't getting the playing time that he should have, in my opinion.
Yeah, because the DC is the final say, and we all know
exactly.
He's the final say on how everything's going to work. They say it's your room. Yes, it's your room, and you can come up with stuff. But at the end of the day, who has the ultimate trump card? The DC, the OC, and then the ultimate big joker is Ryan Day. Coach Day has the ultimate trump card. And when he trumps you, sometimes you get in your feelings and you decide to go to greener pastures.
Yeah, he's gonna regret that. Trust me.
I mean, he might not. I mean, he's making what, $3.5 million? He's probably not going to regret it that much. He already got his college ring, his NCAA ring. He's back closer to home, and that's fine because we upgraded.
And he can stay at home and retire with all the money he's made.
Probably could.
Never work a day again in his life and just sit back and enjoy life.
So let's recap the coaches. I got Matty P, you got Fessler, and you got James Laurinaitis.
I got Laurinaitis.
Those are good.
Yeah,
those are good choices. I'm surprised. I wonder who Devin would pick. Somebody has to pick Hartline.
Yeah, somebody did. Mika did.
Oh, did she?
Yeah,
I think Devin would pick LJ. I think he'd go after the line.
Nah, he's got to pick somebody different. You already took LJ. Oh, you're talking about LJ,
Larry Johnson.
Yeah, like
he loves Peyton McDonald so much. I figured he would,
But hold up, can LJ really be a breakout coach?
I mean,
he's been doing it for so long. He's already considered the GOAT. Can he really be a breakout coach though? At this point,
I mean, his players can break out. I mean, have a breakout. I mean, a breakout year compared to what they did last year. I mean,
well, for sure. I mean, the players could definitely have a breakout, but I'm talking about the coaching. Like, I want us to go out on a limb. You know what I'm saying? People that are either new or young that haven't really proven it over a long period of time. I'm
Carlos
interested to see Brian Hartline and how he's gonna do with the OC job, talking to QBs, still running the wide receiver room, and then putting it all together. And I think he's gonna have his struggles in the beginning, and people need to understand that. But by the end, I think he's gonna be humming just in time for the playoffs, just like we saw last year.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing his development and his growth and what he has in store for this team. So on the other news, TG, you wanted to talk about UGA a little bit. Let's keep this a little shorter because I want to get to the last topic.
Yeah, the only thing I had to say, because me and Sean had talked about on the last show, which is UGA's players getting arrested for stupidity once again with the cars. And I'm like, one of them, I forget which Georgia player this was, but somebody drove it into somebody's house. And I'm like, are you serious? Are you serious? You really drove a car into somebody's house? Oh my God.
I'm not going to say his name, but it was an old lineman.
Yeah, I pretty figured. And what's funny is Georgia finally took action by suspending these kids indefinitely. But I'm like, it took you this long? I don't think the players respect Kirby Smart at Georgia anymore. I don't think they do.
I got a question for both of you. What is indefinitely? What does that mean?
Who knows?
So whenever he decides to not, to let him come back, I think that's
that's what I would think.
So how long? I'm gonna say Kirby, UGA, all they care about is winning in football down here. So I'm gonna say they missed their spring game and then they're back.
Yep.
That's what I think.
I think maybe the worst that happens is maybe they'll miss a half their first game against some.
I don't even think he's gonna do that. I don't even think he's gonna do that.
You're right. He probably won't. I mean, he hasn't done it yet, so why do it now?
Why do it now? But like I said, I don't think his players respect him, because if they did, you probably wouldn't be doing this. They wouldn't be doing what they're doing.
Dude,
why do you think they don't respect him?
Because think about it with this. You know how the players at Ohio State respect and love Ryan Day so much that they're not going to put him through this garbage, especially because you already know Ryan Day is not going to tolerate it at all because of what he said already here. Like, the culture is the culture. With Kirby, he has no culture. Like, none whatsoever. So,
say that again. Can you repeat that
Kirby
again? Just
Smart.
People miss that.
Kirby Smart and Georgia has no culture whatsoever. You want the greatest set of respect is based on the culture that you've built in this in your program. I mean, think about what Carlos Loughlin has said about how what your players do is a reflection of the coach in every facet. So, to me, from what I've seen with the Georgia players and how they constantly keep doing this dumb stuff and how many deaths that have happened, how much accidents have happened. Again, just recently, an O-lineman drives a car into somebody's house. You clearly don't respect the program. You clearly don't. And you clearly don't respect your head coach, because no matter how much he's talked to you about it, no matter how much he's putting you guys in classes about it, you still go out and do it. And I've even compared it to what happened with Urban back when he was with Florida during the later stages. And the funny thing about that is, I don't even think it was that bad. Like, man, this is so much worse than that, because it's players literally getting into car accidents.
Yeah, right.
Just, like, legit.
I mean, the inmates are running the asylum, man. I mean,
yeah.
That's exactly what I wanted to talk to Deontay Sills, but I didn't want to come off too hard yet when we were interviewing him. But I wanted to ask his dad, do you trust your son in that culture? That he's going to be safe?
Most
they
parents
drive
don't.
Reckless. They're speeding. They don't care about the law. Obviously, the law doesn't care that they're football players. So you would think that they would take that into consideration, especially driving around Athens. You're not even in Atlanta. You're in Athens. They hate you guys there. So
I guarantee you, they've done a lot worse stuff down there. It just doesn't get publicized. This is stuff that they can't hide, because they're knocking, they're running into someone's house and it's on the news. I mean, I guarantee you they get away with a lot of crap down there. I mean, let's face it, these kids have been given everything they've ever wanted down there. They're the belle of the ball. I mean, they're superstars. I mean, I think they can do anything they want. They're invisible. Nothing's going to happen to them. Until Kirby puts his foot down and someone starts telling those kids no and do something about it, that's going to keep happening.
Yeah, and as Robert, that's what's sad. And what's funny is Robert actually said it. We are very fortunate to have Ryan Day and the incredible coach he's built here, because you do not see none of this going on at all.
Yeah, you know what? Someone said it best, and someone said it best. I saw it. I can't remember where I saw that. I think we're watching the downfall and the demise of UGA. The same way that we watched the U go through their turmoil, the same way we watched Florida Gators go through their turmoil. This is UGA's turmoil, because you already saw they lost David Sanders literally because of this. His mom didn't trust her son to that culture.
And nor should he.
She wanted her son. You're sending your kid off to become an NFL player, to become a man, to get an education, not to worry at night, is he going to call me in the morning? Or am I going to get a call from the police or the hospital that my son's in there because they were speeding and drinking and driving down the wrong way, one way? Am I going to get a lawsuit because they hit somebody? This is the stuff that people in Georgia don't realize. They don't think it's that big of a deal. But I'm going to tell you truthfully, and take it how you want. I hope nobody gets offended. But as Black mothers in America, that are raising their sons, they're not going to keep sending their kids to culture like this, even with all the NIL, because they're getting NIL everywhere. They're just not going to expose their children to this. And you're going to see over the next 3 to 4 to 5 years that UGA is going to regress drastically because they're not going to get the kids.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
And Will Starr did have a question, but I'm going to let you speak first, Sean.
It's kind of like watching the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Mike Irvin, them guys, when they were at the top, with Jimmy Johnson, and they were going on they were acting like a bunch of fools and getting in trouble. Like you said, Mello, like the U down there. I mean, a lot of those guys from the U went to Dallas. So, I mean, you're right. I think it's just gonna blow up in his face. But I mean, they've already lost 1 or 2 players down there to an accident that have died, and it's still going on. I mean, come on, wake up! I mean, seriously.
What do you? I don't get it, man.
You're never gonna understand.
I actually agree with you. I think they don't respect Kirby.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
They don't respect that he's gonna do anything. They don't. Even though he kicked 2 players off the team last year, I think they just don't care. Like, he's recruiting, he's looking at the star power, and like you said, there's no culture there. So all he's looking at is, how can this kid help me win a natty, and not looking at the kid as a whole.
The kids they kicked off, what star were they? 5-star starters?
Probably.
They were up there.
Were they?
Yeah, high 4s. Nitro was the other one. Oh, you're talking about last year?
Yeah, when he kicked them off the team, were they starters?
Yeah, they lost their top 2 wide receivers, and then the next 3 that started were in the top 10 for most drop balls in all of FBS football.
Oh yeah.
So 33% of the top 10 was their starters that dropped the ball the most.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why Carson Beck had to come back. But on to the main topic that we want to talk about.
Wait, Mello, before you do, Will Starr wanted to ask the question of, do you guys think, do we all think that Ohio State has the chance to be the next dynasty program like Bama was the past 15 years?
Yes, I do.
Because I do too.
Why do you say yeah?
Because they got the right coach. They got the right support system. As long as Ryan Day doesn't take off to the NFL, I mean, he's got the right infrastructure. I mean, the recruiting's at all time is solid. I mean, they got a great culture. I mean, they got the blueprint. As long as they can keep it together and Ryan Day doesn't jump ship, I think they could win 3 or 4 more natties.
If you listen to what people have said about Ohio State, they think if Ryan Day had continuously, if he won that national championship, it was something to watch out for, because he could go on a dynastic run, because he had what it took. When you listen to how coaches talk about Ryan Day, they knew he could be the next great head coach in college football. It just took him getting over the hump. That's all it took. I think that's what he is doing now. And if you listen to what he said, he has studied Nick Saban, how he handled losing coaches, because he knows this is going to start becoming a thing now. He's also now has the right type of coaches he wants to hire, because at first he didn't know. Now he's learned on the job. I always say this, as much as we hate the team up north for what they've done, it helped Ryan Day learn and grow as a head coach to a point where now he knows what he wants. He knows what he wants out of his coaches. He knows the type of culture he needs to have. He knows exactly how he needs to do things to win a national championship. He now knows. So I think we're on the next run to becoming the next dynasty, because I don't think there's any coach better than him right now.
You know what makes me laugh is they all sat there and tried to discredit Ryan Day that first year after Urban left. Oh, that was all Urban's team and Urban's coaches. Ryan Day fired half the coaching staff.
Yeah, there's only 2 of them left.
So his whole defensive staff he kicked out the door. I mean, so tell me, how's that taking? I mean, yeah, you got Urban's players, but you have a whole new coaching staff.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not like he just was handed over everything. All he had to do is just put the key in and turn. I mean.
Yeah, he got rid of like everybody on from Urban stuff, except for Larry Johnson and Mickey Marotti, because they were actually good at their jobs, where everybody else was trash. The only one he didn't get rid of until later was Tony Alford, and he eventually got rid of Tony.
He should have. Yeah.
Yeah, trust me, I know he regrets not doing that.
Well, I mean, Coach Day is a nice guy, but now I think he's in Thanos mode since last year.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming to kill everybody. Period. He'll be a nice guy off the field. Just like if you watch the Rose Bowl ceremony pre-presser when it was him and Dan Lanning going through the little pre-presser together. And when they shook hands, Dan Lanning's just sitting there with that stupid smile that he always has on his face. Like, yeah, I'm so happy to be here. We're about to beat you guys again. And you see
like,
Day looking at him with that evil, like, you have no idea what we're about to do. Like, that look on his face.
Yeah.
Day is a whole different animal right now. I would not want to be a coach on the opposite sideline against him. Do I think we're going to go on a run like Bama? I think we're already in it.
I think it's kind of hard to go up. I don't think you'll ever see another one because the playoff system's expanded now. It's going to be a lot harder to go on a run like Bama did.
Hold on, I'm about to explain what I was about to say. Yeah, I think we're already in it. Bama didn't win every year. It seemed like that. It seemed like that, but they did not win every year. Bama never even went back to back. So I think we're already in our Alabama dynastic mode. I think he's going to win another before his contract's up. I think he wins three natties.
Total. I do too. I think he got actually win 5. More,
right?
I think he win 5.
And I think it's because out of all the coaches in football, everybody wants to give it to Kirby. Kirby does not adjust. No. Like, he does not make adjustments. Ryan Day sees an issue, he's going to fix it. He's going to at least attempt to fix it. He's going to replace coaches if he has to. You're not getting the job done, you're getting replaced. Period. He does his due diligence about who he's replacing you with, right? And look at the coaching staff he's already assembled. We have the Avengers as coaching staff right now. There's not a better coaching staff in America. I know Kirby said he has the best coaching. No, you don't. No, we have the best D-line coach. We have the best linebacker coach. We have the best DC. We have the best wide receiver coach by far. It's not even close. Tyler Bowen is about to prove he's the best O-line coach, but we won't give it to him yet until he proves it. I think we have the best tight end coach. I know we killed Key for a while, but he never misses on his targets. We had the best tight end room because of it. We had the best DB coach in OG Walt. We had the best safety coach. So in all of college football. And who put it together? The best head coach. So that's where I'm at right now. We have the best talent. We're always stacking top 5 classes. And like Devin and I have been saying on this show, and Sean and TG, we had the number 1 recruiting class in the 2025 class. You could go ahead and throw out your on 3s, your 247s, and all that other BS, because you're going to see those kids don't fit their program or their culture because they lack culture. Like our kids fit our culture and our program and our scheme and our system. So, yes, we're about to go on a dynastic run.
And you know what? Troy V actually said it. This is why the press wanted to keep firing Day, especially ESPN, because they knew he could be that coach. And as a matter of fact, multiple, including Buckeye Scoop, kept saying the same thing. Even I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, no, y'all want Ryan Day to get fired because y'all know he could be that coach that can bring Ohio State to. They're already a premier program. They're already a dominant program. They've been the most dominant the past 5 decades. The last thing you need is them going on that kind of a run.
Right.
Y'all hate them enough as it is. So I 100% agree with that. And Will Starr said Day's got to win like 5 more titles. He could. He absolutely could. Especially because I think with this system, it's an NFL system. People need to remember he's a former NFL coach. He knows. And a lot of the coaches he has on his staff are former NFL coaches themselves, including Matt Patricia. I don't know how long Matt will stay here, but
our players.
Yeah. But it's like he knows what to do in this regard. So I really do believe that Brian Day is on that trajectory where he could give us a run like Bama. He really could.
And I also think we have our next coach in waiting sitting there, either at the offensive coordinator spot or the linebacker coach spot. So, I mean,
I think it's the OC spot.
Yeah, but I'm just saying either one of them.
Hartline is the next head coach for Ohio State.
Him or James Laurinaitis, because both of them could be.
But usually they want to hire.
I'm going to lean towards Brian Hartline just because he's the OC now. He's been here the longest, and he's the best recruiter on staff. Mm-hmm. He has the best track record and proven record. And I mean, let's be frank, defense is great, and you have to really be a lover of defense and of the game. But most people are attracted to offense, right? So, I mean, that's the thing. So I think Brian Hartline is the next in waiting. Also, one more thing in terms of what you were saying about our recruiting. Our recruiting is only going to keep going up.
Yeah.
With revenue sharing, NIL, the growth of Columbus as a city, the money and the dollars are there to attract kids. The brand is already the biggest brand in the world in terms of college football. And kids are going to want to go there. You're going to be able to make super amount of money. Look at how much money Optimus Prime is making.
He's making more than
I think
most
Chris
NFL
Henry
players.
is going to have that conversation. He's going to see what Optimus is making. He's going to be like, oh, I can make that. And he's going to see Naeem Offer and get no shoe deal. His shoe ain't never coming out.
Right.
Like, don't get sold on that.
And one of the things is too, like, because as Troy V put it, we didn't get kids out of Alabama until Saban retired. That's because, like, back then we all knew. It's kind of like how people weren't taking kids out of Ohio until recently. That's because this is a different era. Like, and with Nick Saban gone, we can now do this. And for Will Starr, I know that you don't think that Ryan Day could resist it for long, but the only way I can see him going is if it's to the New England Patriots. Like, I don't, or unless it's to a really good organization, because I don't think Ryan Day is going to try to take on a dumpster fire organization. He ain't that dumb.
First off, he isn't going before his contract is up. He also isn't going before his kids graduate high school.
Yeah.
So you have to keep that in mind. Now, at some point, yes, obviously he's going to go. But you also got to realize he's super young. Super young. And I mean, even if he did leave, he's grooming Brian Hartline right now as we speak. And Brian Hartline is a sponge. He's very intelligent. Look at what he's done since he's been here. So there's that. Now, can we get to the team up north conversation?
Yeah.
And close it out with that?
And Will, he did.
Start us off on it.
Wait, who did you want to start?
You, with the team up north and your feelings and your opinion about the rivalry and everything.
Oh, I've already said it before on the OHIO podcast. I'm going to say it again. They should not be our rival.
Say it right here on our
They
podcast.
should not be our rival because they are the most disgusting program I've ever seen. This is the dirtiest. We're talking about they're reaching lower levels than Miami, than Georgia, than Florida. It's lower levels.
What about Penn State?
Oh, it's even
lower.
It's pretty much, yes. Actually, matter of fact, yes, I do think it's lower than that.
I agree.
Because it's like, yes, Jerry Sandusky was evil for what he did to those players, but what you have with the Matt Weiss stuff, with him taking, like, for what he was doing, take advantage of these kids, these girls, especially with new photos and all that, and how big of a creep he was. He even had them like by like categories of body, hair, like the techniques and stuff. It was so gross. And then on top of that, you're on top of the cheating scandal and all the other stuff they got going on over there, especially because if I'm not mistaken, wasn't a coach accused of sexually harassing and assaulting a female up at that school as well? Like, there was a sexual assault thing.
They had a coach get busted for trying to pick up a 13-year-old girl.
Alex Yode, let's put names on these coaches. I'm not going to hide them and protect them. Like
not just him, but it was from like there was also one on the basketball program and the hockey program.
Yeah, a couple hockey players were accused of, assault, and it got kind of brushed under the rug, but we don't really know the details because it never came out, really.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's like that school, and this wouldn't be their first time, because remember, like years ago, they did this with a kicker that they tried sweeping under the rug of assaulting a chick. This
just
school
drop a
is
nuke on that school, honestly.
Legit. Like, I'm at the point where I'm like, from everything I've heard, like the gambling, the cheating scandal, and then these, like, you having pedophiles and these creeps, and then on top of the other stuff that's going on in your program, where one of your baseball players had a liquid, you could say PD, where they literally was like hiding that in their glove, and on top of all the other stuff with Juwan Howard, your former basketball coach, and what's been going on with your hockey program and your basketball program, you guys are insulting.
And the Fab Five too. You're a little young for the Fab Five.
No, I know the Fab Five. I know the story. Trust me, I know. But
you guys are forgetting the big one too.
It's so evil. It's disgusting. Who would want to send their kid to that program? It is disgusting. I
gotta agree with Kron on this one. The team up north is obviously Oregon. The Michigan is irrelevant.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not gonna call y'all. We're not gonna call y'all team out west. Y'all still gotta earn that. But but it's true. Like, we would treat. Yeah, it's more of like, well, they gotta beat us more than twice, because 21-24. But they gotta beat us in. They gotta beat us in big games. Really, is the truth. Yeah, that's the truth. But the reality is, Michigan should not be treated like a rival. Like, we're giving them way too much, because of the rivalry. I've said it before. The rivalry is what's kept Michigan relevant for 80 years. You can lose your blue blood status when you go on the little 80-year drought they went on, because look at Nebraska. They are not looked at like a blue blood like they used to be, even though their drought started around I would say late into the 90s, into the early 2000s. And they had like more going on than the team up north. So what has it kept them relevant? Oh, it's a rivalry like Ohio State, Michigan. To me, Michigan should never be considered a rival. They shouldn't even be treated like one. I think we should throw them off to the side, let them sink into irrelevancy, and have a new rivalry. We can even have conference rivalries, like interconference rivalries with SEC teams, because we can have one with Bama, Georgia. I think we are definitely going to have one with Ole Miss for sure.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
But I think our new rival is definitely Oregon.
Yeah, I do too. And I actually did make
all the same players. And I mean, they are a good team. They are a good team.
They came out and beat us the first game. I mean,
their coaching staff is young right now, but I also do think that the coaching staff, opposite of Ryan Day, I think their coaching staff has a little bit of fraudulency in them. And I'm just going to straight up say that. I really do.
Yeah.
I think Dan Lanning is overrated. I don't think he's a young Ryan Day. I don't in any way.
I don't either. Some people try to say he's like young Urban, which I could kind of see because of his ferocity and his tenacity.
No.
But no, he's not Urban.
No,
I'm sorry.
no.
He's not. He's not. I'm sorry, he's not. And I'm not gonna lie.
Up north. Let him have. We gotta blast them real quick.
Oh no, that's what I'm doing now, because this is the other reason why I'm talking about it. Because when we don't talk about, because I've talked about this with those scums, you are dirty scumbags who don't belong in the rivalry. You don't belong in the conversation. Heck, I think you should get kicked out of the Big Ten, to be honest, and just drown into irrelevancy until you clean your whole program, because you guys are the dirtiest MFers. Like I see it, I consider Oregon our rival. I will put Penn State over you. Heck, if Maryland, because even I've talked about this with Maryland, if they can ever start winning games, because they do have the talent, the coaching is just trash. But I would even take them over you just because at least they have what it takes. It's just that they need the proper coaching. If they can get that, we good. But the one reason I will say is Oregon will never do the dirty stuff y'all do. They will respect this rivalry, knowing the fact that you cannot do the dirty. You got to beat Ohio State fair and square, which they showed they're capable. They showed that. Y'all never have in the past 30 years. So no, y'all are trash human beings. You're a trash program. And what's even funnier is I don't see none of you morons in the comment section no more. Where y'all at now? Because since this stuff got out, where you at now?
Hiding.
Exactly.
So my thing, go ahead, Sean. I'm gonna let you hear. I'm gonna go last.
Here's what ticks me off is the arrogance and ignorance that they have and how hypocritical they are.
Yes.
They want to say, I see these guys trying to blast us for Woody Hayes. Well, your coach punched a guy. You named a building after him, and you guys still celebrate Woody Hayes. You guys built a freaking hall and a statue to Bo Schembechler, who brought his best friend in, the team doctor, who was sexually assaulting his players and his stepson, and Bo did nothing about it. So you want to talk about scumbags? You guys still think Bo Schembechler's a god. The guy was a mediocre coach, never won nothing nationally. Won some Big Ten titles, that was it. His bowl record's terrible. I mean, my God. Then you guys have to cheat. You lie. I mean, you guys are pathetic and arrogant and jackasses, and you don't know nothing about football. Bunch of clowns, especially those Bozo Brigades, man. I'm done.
So
man.
that's what I'm gonna say. In essence, we broke Miami, aka the U. They have not been the same. And we, in my opinion, we broke Oregon. I mean, you could recruit and pay all those kids all you want. You're not winning anything big. And we broke the team up north. We caused the team up north. Just think about it. We caused the team up north to want to win so badly that they broke laws and are going to go to prison. We didn't even get into the Connor Stallions and Blake Corum LLC. And I heard those idiots over there talking about, well, that's nothing. Nothing's going to happen. Well, Blake Corum's name was on the LLC. He said, I have nothing. I don't know anything about it. So either he doesn't know about it and Connor Stallions is about to go to jail, or he doesn't know about it and he played your championship year ineligible, and you're going to forfeit that whole season anyway. So at the end of the day, it has to be one or the other. It's not nothing. So there's that. Another part, if you're getting your information for guys that wear sunglasses on their show, like when they're in the house and they're not even outside. I mean, come on, let's be for real. Like that's some clown bozo, like homie don't play that and living color fugazi stuff that's going on right there. You have two of your beat reporters talk about, yeah, we knew about Connor Stallions, we knew about Alex Yode, we just decided not to report on it. So you're wearing a Jesus is King shirt and hat, and you knew a dude was trying to meet up with a 15-year-old girl and you didn't say anything about it. There's stuff like that I hate. There's this dude, and it's not equivalent, but it's kind of equivalent in my opinion in terms of me being a Christian and a follower of Christ, and how me and Devin feel, and we bring it into this platform. We don't hide who we are. It's kind of like when I was in the military, I wanted to go 18 series, which is special forces, because there's a guy in Africa named Joseph Kony. Joseph Kony was kidnapping young girls and raping them, taking young children, boys, and making them be in his military and getting them high off of cot and other stuff and killing the entire village, all the men, and going around basically doing that everywhere in Africa. And then his reasoning behind it was because Jesus told him to do it. So to me, the guy that wears the Jesus King hat is just a step below Joseph Kony without reporting it. Like, you're despicable, you're disgusting. I don't even know how people still watch you. Your fan base is so thirsty just to be relevant again that they'll turn a blind eye to everything you did up there. Your whole entire athletic department needs to be gone. Your president should be gone as well, because he's sitting there saying bet. Like, dude, you sound like a douchebag.
Right.
Straight up.
How about
You're
that?
supposed to be the leader of that school. You're not some regular person. You're not a president. I mean, a coach. You're not a student. You're not a fan. You're supposed to represent that university outside of the athletic department. You're embarrassing. You're a disgrace. Anyone that's sending their kids up there to play other sports, that aren't revenue generating sports, you need to be careful, because you need to understand they might lose a lot of sports or players depending on how bad these sanctions get.
Yep.
Because they're going to lose revenue from the football program.
Oh, by the way,
there's just so much BS in that program. At first, I was like, I don't want them to nuke it. I want to keep it alive. I want to see TSC versus underwear and skid marks in his draws, because that's what he's going to have after he sees Sonny Styles on the blitz up the middle. Or CJ Hicks coming off the edge, or Edric Houston coming in, grabbing him, or K-Mac looking him in his eyes. That's what's going to happen. Just like that running back, Caleb from Iowa, that was talking all that trash before the game in the heat. What he had like 30 yards, and that was when we had our third string in, and he scored a touchdown at the end. But before that, he had like negative yardage.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, after looking at everything this program is about, their fan base, their culture, or lack thereof, which is just cheating. You got your head coach that's sleeping over recruits' house. He's a scumbag and a weirdo, just like the rest of your coaches. I wouldn't be surprised if something else comes out about him. You got Charmin Moore that is crying on national TV. We did it for you, Jim. Like, come on, get that boy a tissue. You're making us look bad. Come on, Charmin. Anybody that's considering, if you're a recruit and you're considering that, you better get some really good representation, or talk to your agent and find out how real these sanctions are about to be before you play those games. That place is beyond a cesspool. Cesspool is being nice for them. And anybody that's supporting them, I don't feel bad for you anymore. The gloves is off. Like, I was cool with some of you. I'm still respect one of you, but I'm still coming at all of you because you support that program. And it's trash. The program itself is trash. The whole area is trash. And that's where I'm at with it. Like, it is Buckeyes till we die. And you don't see us doing that at all.
Exactly. Oh, by the way, Mello, I did try to tell you, I'm sorry to almost interrupt you, but I was trying to tell you that there might be some lawsuits heading their way. It just broke on my phone. There's some lawsuits that are heading.
All right, talk about it.
Yeah,
that's breaking news. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, it literally just came up on my phone, and Buckeyes was talking about it as well. But they're talking about how there might be some lawsuits coming from the victims of the from the Matt Weiss stuff. That's all is really just talking about, is that.
Man, they're about to bankrupt that school, man.
Oh,
at least that athletic department.
Isn't there some Title IX sanctions that could be coming down too?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Yep.
hacking. They're saying it has nothing to do with the program. He did it on your campus. He hacked other athletes' medical records. So, like, you think he wasn't hacking? There's a rumor out that he hacked Ohio State's. I'm gonna just put it up there that he hacked Ohio State servers and stole practice footage. The reason I'm gonna say that's true, because like I told you, my daughter was getting recruited for soccer. She went up there for a camp. When I was there, they had the football side locked down tighter than Fort Knox. Found out that they weren't even allowed to take their iPads home with them and study anymore. Why would they do that if there was no truth to it? Think about that for a second.
Oh, trust me, there was. And not only that, but it wasn't just Ohio State stuff that was on there. It was Georgia, it was Rutgers, it was Michigan State, Penn State, Alabama, and countless other schools too. It was so sickening just to see that.
So let me ask you guys. You guys remember the 22 Peach Bowl, right? They're at the Ben Stadium. They're practicing. They do a little sweep like they do every day. They found a camera in there. Yep. Who was practicing in the Ben Stadium?
Ohio State and Georgia.
In UGA.
Mm-hmm.
Who did the team up north? They were playing TCU. They thought they were going to kill them.
Yep.
Do you think that it's possible? I'm just throwing this out there. Like, there's no proof of this before people go out and spaz. Do you think it's possible that the team up north sends people in there to videotape the practices and stuff?
Of course.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think that's the most likely scenario.
You want to know what cracks me up, Mello? Is that guy that wears the Jesus is King hat. He's the same guy that was going around saying Ryan Day's brother should be thrown in prison for hacking Michigan's computers. I mean, Ryan Day and his brother were the ones that dropped the dime on Michigan, were the one that started the investigation. Ryan Day's brother's firm broke into the Michigan place and hacked their computers.
And it was all started by a joke that was told by his ex-man, where he wasn't even being serious. They just ran with it.
He even said it. I was watching it live when he did it. When he said it.
How stupid they were. He goes, watch how stupid they are. I'll make this up and you guys will take it back.
Yeah.
And they ran with it.
And they still look at this guy as credible, like their fan base.
Yeah.
I feel really bad for them to a certain extent, the fan base, because they had nothing to do with the idiocracy that the coaching staff and the program and the athletic department was running there. But
they continue
at the end of the day, they're going to be so heartbroken when that punishment comes down. And guess what? You guys were such jerks to us that we're going to be heartless. I want every Buckeye fan, when the punishment comes down, we're going to go ahead and we're going to give them hell in all their pods. We're going to give them hell to the point they want to quit doing podcasting. That's my goal, because you guys came for us, all types of craziness, saying ridiculous stuff, and now we don't care. The gloves is off.
Oh,
and if you're an apologist and you're a Buckeye fan, supposedly, and you're over there trying to make excuses and you're rooting for the team up north in different aspects, you need to really look yourself in the mirror seriously and ask yourself, are you really a Buckeye fan? Because I don't feel like you are. A lot of other people that you think that you are don't feel that you are. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But thank you guys for joining us. We went for almost 2 hours, and we're going to be out. Have a good evening. Do us a favor, like, share, comment, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. We appreciate you. And Oregon is officially our new rival, according to the Buckeye Boys. We don't recognize the team.
Crying.
And by the way, real quick,
brother, because you guys aren't going to beat us, and you're not going to win the 2025 national championship either.
Yeah, and by the way,
TG, Sean, y'all got any final words before we bounce up out of here?
Yeah, for me, this is what I want to do. Shout out my mother. She's watching. She commented, and I want to shout her out.
Mama Tawana Banks.
Tawana Banks.
Yeah. Hold on. I got to ask this. You guys are from Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm about to ask you.
Are
you related to Durkee O'Banks?
No. No, like Tawana Banks, that's something my mother just puts.
Okay.
It's just something she puts. It's like kind of like a little something because her last name is the same as mine.
Got you. What's up, Short? What's up?
I just want to say thank you to all our regulars who always come here and support us, man. This is just awesome that I get to come on here with my friends and talk football, talk Ohio State, and just have a great time and today was ZZM's funeral, so
God
my
bless.
heart's out to
Rest in
his
peace,
family.
Museum.
Rest in peace, Matt. I know you're
Yeah,
watching
rest
from up there. She got one more national championship before. I know he's probably up there with Woody Hayes right now and Earl Bruce talking about, asking him all kinds of stories. So,
But thank you
everybody
guys
be
for
safe.
coming out and joining us. Like I said, just like, share, and subscribe. We appreciate you. Keep God first. And just remember, the first legitimate natty in 2 years. Just think about that for a second. That's a big plus. Like, we did it the hard way. We did it the hardest way, to be exact. Shout out to my favorite team, the 24 National Buckeyes. And on that note, thank you guys. We'll be live tomorrow. I believe we are going to have Braylon Womack on and his mom. So that should be a banger. I know there's some rumors out there that he's not going to be a Buckeye. I beg to differ, and I'm just flat out asking him, like, what's his top list? We already asked him the last time. And
I mean,
remember what he said, who number one was.
Number one, Ohio State.
I mean, if you remember, he literally said he's a Buckeye fan. He loves Ohio State. He want to come here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And he's going to make 2 trips during spring visits. And shout out to our boy, Albert Rockhill, that was on campus today. We appreciate you, dog. You know you are a Buckeye. You need to be a Buckeye. We need you. We want you. We love you. And on that note, we'll see you guys tomorrow. OH.
Yo,
baby.